Hi friend, how are you? It's Katie here, and I'm just going to sing a little song as we just wait for this training to start. So I am really excited about helping you with this one. I've got so much help to give you from my story, from where I've been, my why, all those sort of things, to really help. This is such a common problem that people get with confidence. So if you're feeling like you struggle with confidence, then let me reassure you that it is just about everybody. We all have various confidence struggles. And so this is my sort of theme song, as it were. I say, count your blessings and press record. So this song is about counting your blessings. If you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. You're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. So let's get into it, guys. So how to be confident on camera. I want to start this training with where people's struggles tend to be. So do let me know if you are happy to say that in the comments. That would be great. And the other thing is that make sure, if you can't watch the whole of this, that you really catch it very soon, because I am going to take it down and put it into a paid training, because there is so much gold in here that I know really will help so many of you. So we're going to talk about the root of a lot of people's struggles first. Let me just turn this so that you don't hear. Do not disturb, focus on. There we go. So let me know if you're watching. Thank you for watching. So we're going to start with the reasons why people have struggles with confidence on camera and on podcast, basically showing up. You know, this could be public speaking. There are differences which I'll touch upon, but there are masses of similarities as well. So the root of the problem, how it sort of manifests itself, so what sort of problems do people get with being confident on camera and on podcasts, the problems that they can have, and then some tips from the pros, other people, and then finishing off with some tips from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the first bit of the training for you all, and I'm going to keep that on the group in the information there so that you can grab that. But the most juicy bit, it's going to be live now, but I'm going to take it off and do the whole thing as a paid training. So without further ado, stay with me, and I'm just going to bring in the podcasting viewers, listeners. So I'll be with you after this very short break.
This is the Thrive with Live show, the podcast where you can learn to go live with poise, professionalism, and peace of mind. Live video is the best free tool to win clients and grow your income and authority. So, if you want to ditch the overwhelm and confusion to skyrocket your online success through the dynamism of live video, then you are in the right place. This podcast covers all aspects, from your mindset, voice, style, and personal branding to all the technology and tools you need to get started and grow with live video. And now, here is your host, Katie Simpson.
welcome to the Thrive with Live show. I would love to help you today in this episode with getting confident on camera, getting confident with your voice and your message so that you're able to go live, you're able to do your podcast, you're able to do your course videos, your webinars, your Zoom meetings, your speaking in public with confidence and with joy, and really enjoy that. So if we haven't met before, I am Katie Simpson. I am a live video podcasting and voice coach, and I love helping online business girls to look good, sound good, and feel fantastic on live video and podcasting. So let's get into the training today. So the first thing that I'm going to be discussing is the really common reasons that people struggle with confidence on camera, and then I'm going to get into a bit more of the nitty-gritty of what those things actually, how they manifest themselves when of problems being on camera and on podcasts, and then how can we sort that out. And in there I'm going to be giving some tips and techniques from other pros as well, like Amy Porterfield, Pat Flynn, Coach Glitter, if you know her, Molly Mahoney, Ian Anderson, great, loads of people who are really great pro live streamers and podcasters. A number of them are both. So have you ever struggled with confidence going live on camera, not necessarily live, but pre-recorded, or maybe podcasting as well? There can be really similar problems. So lots of things that people really struggle with is they think that they don't look right. So we think that we've got flaws, F-L-A-W-S. These can be a whole array of things that can really get in our way and think people are going to judge us because we are too this, fat, thin, pale, bad skin, bad teeth, strange expression. And then it can be things with our voice. So we can be very nervous about our accent, or maybe we're speaking in a second or a third language and we struggle with it a bit, and we think that people will think we're idiots. We can get very nervous, so we might speak too fast, or speak too sort of strongly and directly, or speak in too high a voice or something like that, and we can get a big thing about our voice. Nobody's gonna, or maybe we go and use filler words too much. I just said who cares? So there's loads of reasons, and I'd love to know if you're happy to tell me what your struggles are over showing up and giving on live video, on videos, public speaking, podcasts. So we can think of what people will think of us, and we can think that we have all these flaws that will really show up and people will take the mickey of us. Maybe we're really worried in the comments that people will comment something. Or maybe it's things like the technology. People will think we're stupid because we might be muted. Something might go wrong. We might make a mistake with our live video technology and people will think that we're stupid. Or we might be worried that the internet will go down, and what will people think there, or your training, what will happen when your training disappears because your internet goes down. And we can go down these really long rabbit holes over things. A lot of people overthink the technology, she says, bashing the microphone. They can think that they need this and this and this, and we can't possibly show up unless we've got an amazing sound, because otherwise, or amazing lighting, or better camera, because otherwise people will judge us. We can think that we need a better backdrop because people may think that we're not professional if we don't do that. We may think that we need to improve our hair colour, or the way that we put our makeup on. There's absolutely loads of these things, and these things are so common, and I guarantee that at least one of the things that I've said surely has gone through your mind, at least flitted through your mind, and put a bit of doubt in your mind. We can start thinking, well, I need to do my videos at a certain time because maybe other people might not be watching at that time, or what if nobody watches or listens? I will look a fool. So there are all these problems that can really get in the way. We may think, people won't want to hear what I've got to say. Why would anyone listen or watch me? Who am I to talk about these things? That's another thing. Imposter syndrome. Who am I to speak with authority on a subject? And what if so-and-so listens? They're far more experienced or knowledgeable than me. What if it's about a member of the family? If this particular member of the family watch, what are they going to think of me? What will they say to so-and-so? Will I look a fool? Will I say the wrong thing? Another thing that we can get in our minds is our brains. It could be an ADHD type of problem. It could be a problem that you're worried about forgetting things. Will I forget what to say? Will I stop speaking? Will I suddenly go off on a tangent? And that can be to do with our brains. What if I talk a load of rubbish? Lots and lots of people have these worries in their mind, and it stops them getting their beautiful selves out there, their knowledge, their experience, and it stops them helping other people. And that is sad. Let me know if you feel that sad as well, because we tend to judge ourselves massively, and it can completely debilitate our ability to get out there. And even if we do manage to pluck up courage to do our videos, do our podcasts, go live, speak on stage, in the back of our minds, we've got this negative voice saying, oh, so-and-so is over there. All these different things which can dull us, dull our vibrancy, dull our ability to be us, be our joyful self, and be able to give to 100%. It will bring us down. It will bring our energy down and our giving ability down. So these things are not good, and I really want to help you with these things today. So because of these things that go around and round in our minds, and they can be actual problems, they can be like, I don't actually know how to use this software in order to go live. I don't actually know how to go live in the most basic way. And you can get help with that immediately. Maybe it's free help from YouTube, or it's asking somebody like me. You can have a short coaching, and that will just solve that problem, and then you can go and do that. But these things really can stop us from making a difference and growing our business. So I'm here to help you and encourage you and say you can do it. If you need to sort out something like that, go and get the help and then go and do it. But otherwise, if it's a mindset thing, often it helps with a training like this, and then it helps to be in a community of encouraging people, get some accountability, be able to share how you feel, get it out there, share how you feel, and practice. practice in a safe place, and then, you know, push your boundaries, push your comfort zone a little bit more until we can really start flying. Okay, so let's just talk about a few entrepreneurs that you've probably heard of, excuse me, who you may not believe have these problems. And I'm just going to start with a little bit of my story. Today I went live from my chicken run, which I have been doing a few times, and it's really nice to do that actually. The chickens are really calming and soothing to me, but my audience hear them and see them in the background, and that's really nice. And I can just share a sort of heart-to-heart type impromptu, relaxed live video. And I was just sharing something, and I had a bit of an aha moment on the live stream where I realized that when I was young, I was just coming up to teenage years, I was absolutely desperate to fit in and not be seen as the strange odd one. You know, my mother was pretty poor, the poorest person that I've known actually, and she looked after us really well. By all the things that we had in our packed lunch were things that she'd made herself, and other people who had a lot more money, the children in the school, would have special packeted this and that and the other, you know, packets of crisps that I'd just hardly ever seen before, and a lovely type of white sliced bread and all those things which I'd hardly ever seen before. So mine was sort of homemade, extremely nutritious for me. I didn't appreciate that, but it was different. It was different. And I had thick woolly red tights on to help me with the cold, because I cycled to school, and other people had these lovely thin feminine socks on and things like that, and I was picked on for those things, and it made me feel different. And I so longed to be like the others that I was just prepared to do whatever it took. Who cares if it was bad for me? I was going to just try and fit in and be looked up to and admired maybe, or at least just fit in with this sort of cool crowd, cool gang. And I was thankfully taken out of the school that I was in and put into a very, very nurturing school that just lifted my confidence up, and teachers and friends who just lifted me up and saw my worth, and that made such a difference to me. And often it needs something like that, doesn't it? So when our confidence is really low, we start churning over things in our minds which can really sap us of our energy and our ability to give. So for example, Amy Porterfield, she felt that she was too fat to go live or do videos with her on it. Can you believe it? It's so sad hearing that. And so she didn't do videos of herself in it for years, apparently, because she really felt that people were going to judge her because she was too fat. So sad. Another lady who's an amazing entrepreneur, Rachel Perry, you might know her, she felt the same thing. But thankfully, both of them absolutely crush live video, and they're making masses of difference in women's lives because of that. Pat Flynn, he knew that he had to try and get visible for his business. So he did, which is brilliant, but he said that they were just cringe-worthy videos, and he just sounded, what did he say? His voice crackled. He said a lot. He said he was very, very nervous. Everything seemed unnatural to him when he was doing it, but he did do it anyway, and he improved as it went. I mean, it's hard to think that he may have had all those struggles, isn't it? yeah, so that's some entrepreneurs who massively struggled, but they did it, they got through it. And I want to help you to turn up for your lives, your content creation, without having to spend years and years of trying to boost yourself up and you know, having real difficulty in the process. So stay with me on this training and we will get some stuff done. So common responses, things that happen to us on our lives because we struggle with all these things. Common things are that our breathing can get very shallow. We can start breathing really fast, getting extremely hot and blushing and sweating, getting very uncomfortable, which means that you can't really think straight, and it makes it very difficult to get your training and things across in a relaxed manner. Your voice might go higher pitched or it might go quite harsh. It might well speed up as well, so that your audience don't get a chance to take in what you're saying, and they can be a bit nervous as well, because if you're speaking really fast and really high, it really will set them on edge. It won't give that calm place for them to be able to learn really well. Another thing that can happen is we can get distracted from the camera, so we can start looking all over the place, or maybe not looking into the camera at all. This is really, really common on Zoom, that we can look at ourselves and we can start thinking, oh gosh, doing this and that, and really honing in on my teeth look weird, or this or that or the other that we're worried about. And we won't attract our dream client like that. We need to look at them. We need to think of them as our best friend and really be able to give to them. So yeah, our voice can crack. We can lose our audience by often our voice starts going into a monotone, and that isn't great for them to listen to. Loads of things that can happen, and if we are in that panic, that fight or flight, we will probably forget things. We will probably forget what we were going to say. We're probably going to sound more nervous and add more filler words, things like that. And we are probably going to lose the track of what we say and maybe go off on a tangent. So I encourage you to take some tips that I'm going to share just now, and really be able to speak your voice, be able to help others and not get stuck in a rut, and so just don't do it. But be able to push ourselves out of the comfort zone. And then honestly, I feel that you can find that podcasting and going live can be some of the best things for you and your business. Honestly, you can find your dream clients and dream friends as well all around the world. It's amazing. So let's have a think about how we can deal with these problems and go live and do our podcasts effectively. So the first thing I would say is that think about what you are confident in, that you are good at, what you are confident that you are good at. So really hone in on that and get your confidence level up by thinking about what you are good at. Secondly, I'd like you to think about your why. What really, really is important to you and why you want to share this with others. Where you come from, what your story is, why you want to help others and who you want to help. And really hone in on that, and it will give you a lot of impetus to go and help them. And not only that, I'd like you to imagine that they are the person that you are talking to. They are on the other side of the lens that you're looking at. And if you focus on those people, then you will give in a very giving, generous way. Your voice will relax. Your breathing will relax. Your voice will sound interesting and engaging. Your eyes will come alive. Your whole demeanor will be really focused and really get across to your audience through that strange black little like cyclops eye that we have to look at through the camera. If you imagine and really think about speaking to your ideal person, the person that you love to help out of that problem that you had a few years ago, a few months ago, whatever it was, and you know how to help them, you really, really will help them. So it's great to see Martin here. Welcome, Martin. Great to see you on Thrive with Live show. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for saying excellent advice. That's so sweet of you. I know that you have got through this on your live videos to a great extent, haven't you, as a speaker, and now being able to bring that onto your live shows. So that is fantastic to hear. So some tips from the pros. So Coach Glitter, who her real name is Tiffany Lee Bymaster, but everyone knows her as Coach Glitter. She is a very successful business lady who helps business women to go live and to build their business. And she talks about do it messy. Do it imperfectly and just get it done. And she really encourages people to just, we've got all this, you know, we want it to be perfect. We're worried about this and that and the other. And she just encourages us, just press record. And like I say, count your blessings, count your gratefulness, the things that are make you happy, fill yourself up with them, take a big breath in with those happy things and just press record and go for it. Even if it's imperfect, what Pat Flynn says is you just improve one little thing each time. Just try and focus on one small area. Don't try and suddenly, oh, that was absolutely terrible. I did this and this and this wrong. I've got to try and do that, because you will get overwhelmed again. So be kind to yourself and just one small little thing. See if you can change it and improve it each time. And we all start in that messy place to some extent. I don't know whether you know somebody called Sean Cannell from Think Media. He is a fantastic YouTube coach, and he always shows his very first YouTube video where he's sitting half in the dark going, I don't know what I'm going to speak about. I don't really know if this is interesting. His voice is a complete monotone. He says he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't want to be entertaining. I don't want to be interesting. I don't want to be... It's just really, really negative. And because he was nervous, but he did it. He pressed that record and he recorded it and he put it up on YouTube, and it's still there for everybody to see and for him to show, if I can do it, then you can do it. And that is so true. We can. Yeah, we've got to allow ourselves, give ourselves the grace to start from imperfection. And maybe for us, that is wildly embarrassing. You think you're absolutely terrible, but you don't know what an influence you're having on others. You don't know how others are perceiving that and how it's helping others. So he said, Pat Flynn says he still gets very nervous. He said it still seems unnatural to me. Can you believe that? He says, just get started. Perfection can come later. Try to get one thing better each time. And Coach Glitter says, do your best. Just start messy, start imperfect, do your best. And she says, this is her little a post about this. She says, take chances, bet on you, do it messy, trust yourself again, be grateful, stay humble, and love big. Yes, love those people and think of them foremost in your mind, not all the things that are getting you down. Think of them, not you. So I'll repeat it. Take chances, bet on you, do it messy, trust yourself again to do it again. It doesn't matter if you don't think that you've got 1% better. Just do it again. Be grateful. Be grateful for all the wonderful things in your life. Stay humble. We do need that, don't we? And love big. There's another girl who is also a fantastic entrepreneur. You might have heard of her, Sally Sparks Cousins. She has a great boot camp at the moment about how to scale your Facebook group and win in your business using a Facebook group. She talks about your sparkle, and she says, don't dull your sparkle. She talks about us all having our own uniqueness. We all have our own quirks, inconsistencies, flaws, talents, skills, beauty, ugliness, whatever, weirdness. We're all ourselves, aren't we? And she says, that is your sparkle, that is your uniqueness, and don't let anyone dull that. And I absolutely love that. We are all unique, and this is very similar to a lovely girl called Luria Petrucci from Live Streaming Pros. She used to be a television personality, and she actually called herself a different name. She had like this sort of alter ego that she called herself a different name, a sort of stage name, and she pulled herself away from that and embraced who she was. And she talks about embracing your flaws, actually embracing the things that you think are negatives about you, you think that are embarrassing about you. So I'll be vulnerable here. So there's two things that I personally get a bit embarrassed about. One of them is my teeth are really quite crooked. I tried to have, braces when I was young, and they made my mouth bleed, and I had to give them back to the orthodontist, and he never gave me new ones. He just said, oh, well, your teeth will be always crooked, which is a shame. So they're crooked. They look a bit buck teeth-ish. The other thing is that I have some sort of health issue, and so I've got like little hairs on my chin. How embarrassing is that? And I have to get them threaded out and try and do my best to remove them. I mean, you probably can't see them. You probably absolutely don't know what I'm talking about. But we all have these things, don't we? It can be mental things. It can be facial things. It can be to do with our sound, all sorts of things. And they can just completely overwhelm us and stop our voice. And I really don't want that for you. I want you to help be able to get your voice out into the world and help all those people who need your unique help. They can't get that from anyone else. They can only get that from you. Molly Mahoney, she's another amazing entrepreneur who helps thousands of people every year. And she talks about celebrating your awesome. She talks about your awesome. Now, she says that she has a lisp, and she is a little bit embarrassed about her lisp. She's also a little bit embarrassed about her. She can't spell very well. I'm trying to think. See, this is another thing that I have my because of my health issue, my mind just stops sometimes and I can't think of the words. But she has dyslexia, isn't it? She has dyslexia. So sometimes in her emails or her descriptions or her posts and things, she might spell things wrongly. And when she's on her videos, you might be able to hear that she has a bit of a lisp. Now, to be honest, I haven't noticed either of those things. I just notice her joy, her passion, her excitement, her energy, and her amazing genius on live video to help people. She really is a genius. And so I was quite shocked when she said that people noticed those things and wrote an email back that was really horrible about her spelling, and somebody on her live video was being horrible about her lisp. I couldn't believe it. But you know, that pricked on her a bit because she felt a little bit nervous and, you know, self-judgmental about those things anyway. And when somebody mentions that as well, that could well stop her making that content. So she talks about, I can actually make this as something that is a real positive, that is something that makes me relatable, makes me different. So she talks about it being your awesomeness. I love telling a story about a lady entrepreneur. I can't remember her name, and it didn't happen very long ago, but she went live on LinkedIn and she had lipstick on. Like, I put my lipstick on first thing this morning and now it's just rubbed off and I haven't remembered to put it back on. Really, who cares? But this lady had lipstick on as well. She went live. She was given amazing training, and somebody turned up on her live and put a comment about, you could have sorted out your lipstick, love, type of thing. And that really caught her unawares on her live video. And she quickly brought the live video to a halt because she was very nervous about going live anyway. She was really pushing herself out of the comfort zone to do it. And she, you know, it was quite a vulnerable place for her anyway. And yet when somebody said something like that, it really hit her. So she stopped the live video and she was absolutely devastated. She was so upset. And the more she thought about it, though, thankfully, the more she thought, well, blow you, I'm going to get my own back. And she did in a really great way. She put lipstick all around her outside of her mouth. So she said she looked like a clown. I'd have loved to seen these actually. And she called him out on doing another live video and said, thank you, so-and-so. You have got me out of my comfort zone and made me realize what I have to give is great. And all these positive things she said that she'd got out of this mean, rude, intrusive comment. And I think, woohoo, good for her. And you know, that video that she did blew up her business. She got loads of business out of it. So Martin is here and he says he has dyslexia, and you are a leading global resume and CV writer. I knew you were, Martin, and I didn't know that you had dyslexia. So that's really encouraging for my audience, for you to let them know that. Thank you so much. Yes, go for it. You haven't let it dull your sparkle, as it were. You haven't let it stop you. In fact, you probably are using it to connect with people. And I think that's fantastic. You are making such a difference in people's lives. So thank you for that. Yes, so take chances. Do it messy. Try and, if you can, just learn from little mistakes, but be kind to yourself, be gracious to yourself, and just be prepared to move a little bit further each time if you can. If you can't at the first, and you just need to just try and do it because that's a massive milestone for you, great, just do it. So it does take practice. It really, really does. And you really will get better. So my main tips for you for actually getting it done are to, first of all, think about your why, who you want to help, why you want to help, what struggles you've come through that make you so passionate that others don't struggle in the same way, what you want to teach them, and just record yourself on your phone. That can be an audio recording or a video recording, and I would then encourage you to watch that back with kindness. Watch that back with loving eyes, as it were. Being loving to yourself, just imagining that it's your best cheerleader, a person who is your best cheerleader. Imagine that's them you're showing that to, and what would they say about you? You know, how encouraging would they be? They wouldn't go on a whole list of negative points. They would be really cheering you on. They might say, well, next time you could maybe do this. But if they do that, they'll say it in a loving and helpful way. It will be helpful. So I'd really encourage you to do that first. And then once you feel that you have reached that new comfort level, that you feel that you can talk without panicking about what you're going to say, without your voice racing away from you, without you stopping for ages just in panic mode, without breathing really, really shallowly and getting into a real hot sweat, you know, feeling comfortable. So when you get to that bit of comfort level, you probably won't feel really comfortable, but you've just reached that level. I'd really encourage you to go live just to yourself on your phone, on the platform that you are most comfy with. And again, if you don't know how to do that, just get in touch with me or somebody else who's a coach who can just help you with that, or watch a YouTube video. Don't overwhelm yourself though. Don't try and add all the bells and whistles. Just make it simple and get it done. Get it done. Joining a challenge with others who are supportive, who feel the same sort of problems as you, who can stay accountable for you, and that just pushes you a little bit, can really, really help as well. And then I would encourage you to go live just to one of your friends, to your cheerleader or something like that, and just see how it goes, or go live with them. Do you know, one thing that I find really helpful if I'm feeling a bit nervous about something, I go live with somebody or interview somebody, or with my animals. Or you could do it with your children, because, or friends or family, you know, people that you are comfortable with and can be a bit of a distraction and can calm you down at the same time. That can really help, actually, especially if you're going to do live videos, live shows, trainings. You're going to go on stage, you're going to do a podcast. If you do it with somebody else, it really, really helps. So those are my tips, and just try and push yourself tiny little bits, and then watch back with graciousness, with, you know, celebration, imagining that you are your best client, cheerleader, friend, watching you back and encouraging you. And always have in your mind, first and foremost, the people that you're helping and what you're wanting to help them not struggle with. If your why can be very, very strong, because it was a terrible problem that you had that you got out of, something like that, that is deep in your heart, mind, soul, and you really want to help them with that, then have that as first and foremost in your mind, in your thoughts, and try not to think about yourself. And honestly, you really, really will win with this. Okay, so a few little tips. Our dear friend Ian Anderson Gray has some great vocal warm-ups which can really help you if you are somebody who struggles with voice. I have a voice course as well if you want to have some more help with that, and this helps with things, warm-ups to help you calm, to help your voice have energy and enthusiasm and interest in it. And I help you with filler words and all sorts of things so that your voice can wow on your public speaking, on your podcasts, on your live videos. So let me know if you'd like a link to that Voice That Wows course. If it's to do with mindset, you might like to have a little bit of one-to-one coaching with me. And this doesn't have to be a high ticket thing at all. I have a special offer for just a 15-minute one-to-one. Just when you're free, you can send a video, audio, or a message to me through a free app, and I can get back to you pretty much straight away and really help you get unstuck. That's what I love, helping people get unstuck so that they can do the wonderful things, make a big difference and impact in the world that only they can. Okay, so I've also got a kit list if you're worried about what tech you need, and I'd always recommend that you just start the most basics that you possibly can and just get started. Phones are really good quality these days, so you don't need to have masses of fancy things. You can get started with a podcast on your phone. I've got a freebie for you to do that. I've got a freebie for getting started with live without spending anything as well, so just let me know if you'd like that. And get your voice and message out there. Count your blessings. Press record. You can do this. Thank you so much for being with me, and I will see you on the next Thrive with Live show. Take care. Count your blessings. Press record. Bye.